Hi everyone, I'm the discussion leader for Chapter 12 of Ellen Powell's book Reset. So she starts off the chapter with defining the term glass cliff, and the term glass ceiling is usually used like when someone breaks through barriers or overcomes obstacles and accomplishes something that maybe that they usually don't, or people like them usually don't break. And then a glass cliff is when you break that glass ceiling, you're handed that position of power, you overcome all of those barriers. But and it's usually used for like organizations and businesses. And so then a woman breaks the glass ceiling and she's handed this position of power, but the organization or business that she's about to run is going to implode, and thus that's the cliff. The problems were already inherently there, but this happens to more women, and Powell uses the term like, this is why women can't have nice things, because even when she was able to become the CEO, it was very difficult for her to get done what she wanted to get done as an executive. And the next part she talks about is when she is the Reddit CEO, and she is looking at candidates for the vice president of engineering, I think. She talks about how one of the candidates that they did eventually hire because they didn't have any other choice said that that he was willing to hire more, or was willing to include diversity in his candidate search for when he's hiring, because he thought it would be, it's worth having different, it's worth lowering the bar to have different voices on the team. And of course, Powell did not stand for this, and eventually she did have a woman VP engineering person, which she said that she always wanted. But the fact that this high-ranking person, or the fact that Powell had to hire him, this person who was incredibly I'm guessing all of the like racist, sexist, homophobic, just not a very good person. Like the fact that he thought, that diversity meant lowering the bar just showed a lot about how people in this industry thought and talked, and he, like, the fact that he thought that would be okay in an interview, and the fact that it was okay for him to say in an interview because he did get hired. So next, Powell talks about a role model of hers, and role models, I think, in this chapter and throughout the book have been very important. So Frida Kapoor Klein was a Reddit advisor, and was definitely like a personal advisor almost, and she was like a role model because she did a lot of work that other women or other people in the industry did not usually do, like community work, working with youth, working with people who survived sexual assault. And she also stressed the importance of diversity and inclusion. And then another role model that she mentioned was Susan, and she was not afraid to stand up in the tech field about anything. And she even, like, at the time, was in her own organization, her was protesting, or was calling attention to the Brock Turner and the trial that was happening there. And I thought it was really important that the effect that these role models had on them. Like Frida caused Powell to start hiring people, and then Powell started talking about how she got this woman who was really involved in her community, and how these and how it was important to get these people who already cared about the physical in-person communities, because she thought that the people who cared about their communities already would care about the online community and know how to make it a better place, unlike the people who are not really trying to do anything of any social justice or advocacy, or are socially awkward or quirky. Powell goes on to talk about an instant when she hears a conversation going on in the workplace about penises, and she emails the entire staff, and the response back is it's incredible. It's insane. And it's just so arrogant. And I'm for those who did not read the letter, he basically argued that they were also talking about breasts too. So it wasn't just about penises, which made it better, and that the fact is that it's still going to happen, and that it was a conversation of like intellect or something. So I just think the arrogance that worker had, and to send that to the CEO of the company would probably have never happened if it was a man. I mean, the man may have just let that conversation go, but the fact that it is a woman enforcing it just lets like all this anger and all of this disrespectful behavior happen, and then men and other people think that it can happen. And it's very much so ingrained in the culture of these businesses such as Reddit and venture capitalist places as well. So after this conversation that she overheard, and then the email from that worker, they had a training. And after the training, many women came up to her and thanked her, and they were thanking her and telling her that there was so much that they didn't know from the training. And it's just crazy how, well, it's crazy first how that these men were not the one coming up to Pao and thanking her for having this training, because I'm sure that they would have, they learned a lot more, but it's just so ingrained in us that sometimes we cannot recognize when assault is happening, and that we need these harassment trainings in order to recognize the way that these men are harassing us and offending us and being disrespectful. And I thought that was a really interesting part, that the women were so grateful. But the men were upset about, some of the men were upset about this training, and Powell kind of got this reputation of being a buzzkill, which she also got in Kleiner as well. And she kind of touches on it, like how, because she's a woman, she can't do much right, she can't, women in general can't do much right, if you have too much fun, if you drink too much alcohol, if you're partying too much, you're assumed to be promiscuous. But if you don't want people drinking in the workplace, or if you want people to not get wasted at work and sexually harass people at parties because they're drunk, then all of a sudden you're the buzzkill. And she struggled with this problem a lot, and ultimately she just like she's wanted this whole time, she just wanted the best for the people in the company, but she was labeled a buzzkill, and then that being labeled that when she was at Kleiner really stopped her from being able to get a lot of the same job opportunities and connections that she would have had if she was not labeled that. Okay. So a quote from the chapter was that So a quote from the chapter that reminded me of the confidence code was that women let go of positive comments but stick to negative ones. That was paraphrased. And it's true, like, we think and analyze and almost, internalize these comments that these men say. And Powell was doing this, especially during the trial, like reading what others said about her. And I thought that remembering to not, like, to stick to the positive comments and to, reverse it and to let the negative comments fall off of you is really important advice. And the last thing that the chapter ends with is the comments from a Reddit post, which I thought was really interesting. And the question is, a Reddit user asks all Reddit users in the Ask Reddit forum subreddit, like former neo-Nazis and racists when they changed and when they knew that they were wrong, I guess. And so then these people share their personal moments, and Pal states that you can't find like these moments of people being very personal, or these moments of humanity. You can't find it in any other place on the internet or the world. And this is really why I love Reddit, and this is also why I actually really love this class, is like being able to hear these stories, even if they're, you know, the stories of when people were discriminated against or when people made mistakes. It helps us learn. And so reading Reddit posts or going to class with you guys and hearing these stories makes us better people. And just like Pau, like sharing in this book, and when she shared her story through the trial, it was very impactful to how women view sexual assault, and gave a lot of women confidence to address these issues. And I think by continuing our conversations like the ones we have in this class, with all women, that we can continue to give women the confidence that they need. Thank you.